And welcome to the live broadcast of the Sydney International Piano Competition 2023. And joining me now here for a little chat is Warrick Baker, who is General Manager of Kawai in Australia.
G'day, Brendan. How are you?
I'm very well. And yourself?
Good, thank you.
Must be a nice experience to hear that wonderful instrument that you've brought specially from Japan.
It's always a wonderful experience.
Tell us about the instrument, yeah?
The particular instrument we've brought to Sydney this year, that journey started almost 12 months ago, where we built 3 concert grands, particularly for the competition, and then we chose one in May for the competition from those 3 that were built. So it's been a long journey to get to this point.
Indeed. It's hard for a lot of people to imagine that you actually have 3 grand pianos and then somebody selects the best of the 3. It's quite incredible. How does that process happen?
It's a very long day. The thing with any piano, be it a concert grand or even upright piano, no 2 pianos are the same. So the selection process is really important on the venues that are being used. And this competition is really interesting to most competitions around the world because we're using 2 venues. The Warrick Hall is a different sound space to the Sydney Opera House sound space. So trying to find an instrument that covers both platforms in terms of the sound profile is no easy feat. But we got there in the end.
You got there in the end, but of course you've brought in a pit crew with you.
Yes. Concert grands are like Formula One cars in many respects. You have a team that travel with it.
This has been pointed out to me, yes. But somebody who was with the piano right from birth, right?
Yeah, we're really fortunate that one of our technicians here at the Sydney, Nozomi Suzuki, she was involved in the actual build of the concert grand that's on stage. And Suzuki has really nurtured this piano from the day it was built through the whole process, and also the process of maintaining and looking and getting the piano up to performance over the 12 months to when we actually selected the piano. And Suzuki's here with the piano in Sydney working on it as well. So it's a really unique thing that to have a female technician on that journey for so long is really unique. You don't normally see that in terms of competition spaces as well. So to have the build crew here with the piano we're very fortunate in that respect.
How has the piano reacted to the Australian climate, of course? They're sensitive things.
They are sensitive. They've travelled really well. So that particular piano was flown in the beginning of June. So it had time to settle to Sydney winter and sort of get used to the environment that it's in. And of course, the Warrick Hall and Sydney Opera House, they're both such well climatic spaces. So all pianos have settled really well and it's performing exceptionally well, we believe. So.
And how has the reaction been with the various performers? How have your crew been able to cater to the different needs of the different people?
It's an interesting question because you have 32 competitors that we start with. And everyone looks for a different feature or sound profile within an instrument. Everyone has a different touch and dynamics when they play the piano. So at one point we've heard 32 versions of the same piano to get down to the final 12. Now we've heard multiple versions up until today, and moving forward next week we'll hear another 6 versions of that piano. It's a long haul. The technicians work very late at night. It's a very grueling technical schedule, anywhere from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning. They're long nights for the guys, and they're also sitting in the hall listening to the sound profile and making adjustments as they see necessary.
So they're working all the time.
They're working all the time. They don't stop.
Yeah.
They don't stop. So it's a long 3 weeks for them.
What about the choice of Kawai from other people outside of the competition around here in Australia? Is it an instrument that a lot of performers like to use?
Yes, it is, particularly the Shigeru Kawai series, which is our hand-built series that we make. It is very well placed in institutions around the world, on concert stages around the world, in private homes around the world. It's being a handmade instrument. It's very unique. We only make very small production runs of that product. Right. So they're very limited, and that in a sense makes it very special as well. They're all handcrafted by our MPAs. It's 20 people that make Shigeru Kawai. They're allowed to make Shigeru Kawai in the factory. And it is really a case of 20 hands equals 1 piano.
Wow.
Because it is a complete hand build process for Shigeru Kawai.
Does modern technology has it had much of an influence on that? Has it changed things as it's gone?
It has from a design perspective. So there's a lot more computer drawings and CAD integration rather than master sheets of planning and pen and paper. But in terms of the actual physical construction, it is still all done by hand. We have integrated machines to help with the heavy lifting side of things, but everything on Shiguru Kawai is completely handmade.
And what about AI? Is that going to have a bit of an effect?
I think it will in time. I think it will in time, particularly with the influence that it's starting to have in other areas of our lives. It's only a matter of time before that starts to integrate into musical instrument production and piano production and manufacturing. I have no doubt about that.
So let's go back to this instrument here.
Yes.
It's going to move from the Verbruggen Hall here in the Sydney Conservatorium across to the Opera House.
Yes.
How does that happen and what sorts of things? Will it go a day or two before? So
That happens, I believe,
itself?
about 5 o'clock Monday morning.
Okay.
And it will go into the Opera House. It will settle for the day. The technicians will do their work on Tuesday to get the piano, make sure it's in performance schedule for the concerto rounds. And then I think 8 o'clock Tuesday night, we're back into programming again.
Terrific. Warrick Baker, thank you so much for joining me
Thank you,
here.
Brendan.
It's been
Lovely to spend
talk
time
to
with you.
Yes, he is, of course, the General Manager of Kawai Australia. This is a live broadcast of the Sydney International Piano Competition 2023.